Cameron. Let's talk about James Cameron some more because, Avatar and them is all out this weekend. So, James Cameron, as you know, has just released Avatar 3. Like I said, I don't know. I'm still on the fence of whether or not I want to see it, but y'all let me know if it's good or not when y'all go see it this weekend. But it looks like that with him in all these Avatar films, it looks like he's looking to revisit an old franchise of his that could use a little rejuvening, especially because they haven't made a good Terminator movie since the second one. So between the Terminator Aliens, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and Titanic, filmmaker James Cameron was already hugely successful before helming Avatar. However, those movies have seen him break countless box office records. 2009's Avatar grossed $2.9 billion at the worldwide box office, and much of the surprise of many pundits. When Avatar: The Way of Water followed in 2022, it grossed a massive $2.3 billion. Cameron has spent years devoting his time to Pandora, and next up is this weekend's Avatar: Fire and Ash. However, while a fourth movie once seemed like a sure thing, the director has once again hinted at potentially moving on from Avatar after his third installment. Even if Cameron does return for Avatar 4, it appears he'll be less hands-on. Saying, I've got other stories to tell, and I've got other stories to tell within Avatar, he told the Hollywood Reporter. What won't happen is I won't go down the rabbit hole of exclusively making only Avatar for multiple years. I'm going to figure out another way that involves more collaboration. I'm not saying I'm going to step away as a director, but I'm going to pull back from being as hands-on with every tiny aspect of the process. Well, I think at this point, after 3 movies, you should have a team of people in place where it's like, okay, I trust you guys to know what you're doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let y'all handle a lot of this stuff while I work on other projects, and you can film it, maybe bring somebody in and direct another one, but have the script in place, have all your storyboards and everything, and have it down to a T of what you want specifically done, and let another director handle it. Because you have 2 more movies coming out within, I think the next one comes out in 2029, and another one comes out in 2032. Like, who's got time to be spending all that time on it? And you ain't that young, sir. So you don't know how long you got for this earth if you get all that done. And if you got other ideas and other things you want to get made, then you got to get the cracking. So they said one of the many projects we know Cameron has his eye on is another Terminator movie. Now, addressing that, the filmmaker said, once the dust clears on Avatar in a couple of months, I'm going to really plunge into that. There are a lot of narrative problems to solve. The big is, how do I stay enough ahead of what's happening to make it science fiction? Especially with everything going on with AI and everything. And you already know, like, there's been so many jokes, and I don't even think it's something we should be joking about. But the way that AI is, and these tech bros and these oligarchs and everything, the way they've been handling a lot of tech as of late, people are saying that literally Skynet is among us. So it's almost as if art is imitating life, and life, art imitating life, imitating art. You have to bring it back to that. So how do you make a lot of what's happening in today's climate regarding AI and, all of that stuff? How do you make it more science fiction and scary? Because it seems like it is kind of a scary thing at the moment. And how do you make people care about, Terminator again? So yeah, now he said that that echoes previous remarks from the True Lies Helmer, but he's now confirmed that this would be the first Terminator movie he steps behind the camera for without star Arnold Schwarzenegger in front of it. He said, I can safely say he won't be in it. It's time for a new generation of characters. I insisted Arnold had to be involved in 2019's Terminator Dark Fate, and it was a great finish to him playing the T-800. There needs to be a broader interpretation of Terminator and the idea of a time war and superintelligence. I want to do new stuff that people aren't imagining. After praising Noah Hawley's Alien Earth, he made it clear that harkening back to the past isn't what he has planned for Terminator, saying, I'm not criticizing it, but I was there for Aliens, 41 years ago? Something like that wouldn't be of interest to me. The thing that scare you the most are exactly the things you should be doing. Nobody should be operating artistically from a comfort zone. And he's absolutely right. It's like, yeah, when you feel uncomfortable about stuff, don't do it. But I actually like this idea of him not bringing back Arnold. I think Arnold has been used to death. It's time to come up with a new idea, do something new something different, and come up with a whole new bunch of characters. So let's move on from Sarah Connor. Let's move on from John Connor, and let's move on from T-800 because it's time to come up with new ideas, new characters, an interestingly new story, and where should the Terminator future go? Because one of the things, like, yeah, Alien Earth, I thought was okay. I didn't even finish the series. I thought it was all right. I just didn't finish the last 2 episodes. And it's probably because I just thought like it was all right. I didn't think it was like epic television. Maybe when I have the time, I'll boggle down and watch those final 2 episodes. But when it comes down to, and then of course the alien stuff, I loved what Fede Alvarez did with Alien Romulus, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else they're going to be doing with that. Even though Fede's not going to be a part of the next Alien sequel because of Ridley Scott, but I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with that. But in regards of this other in regards to Terminator, because I've been saying this for the beginning, like after what they did with Alien, after they did what they did with also recently Predator Badlands was excellent. How they took a completely interesting IP about Predator and made a Predator the protagonist. Like, since we make a Predator the hero, and we started to get into their background and their culture and seeing how their world is and stuff, and seeing how that is explored, to me is way more interesting than doing the same old of Predator goes and hunts humans and wants to show that he is the badass of them all. Like, we've seen that story already, but seeing it from the point of view of a Predator and seeing him work in his world, I thought it was fascinating. So if they could find a new way to make Terminator interesting, if James Cameron could find a way to make his Terminator franchise interesting and also redefine the future of technology, which he did with the first 2 Terminator films, like how he pushed the boundaries of special effects and robotics and that sort of thing, things that we didn't expect to see in our lifetime because the technology back in the 80s and the 90s was completely different. And for him to create this whole new, and especially even with Avatar, like how groundbreaking the special effects and the tech was for that. He's always been somebody that's been that guy that pushes the boundaries of visual spectacle. So I'm interested in seeing what he's going to bring with this whenever he decides to tackle another Terminator, hopefully sooner rather than later. So I'll say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Would you be excited to see a whole new Terminator reboot with James Cameron behind it? But like I said before, it's like with Avatar, you got 2 more that you're trying to do, depending on how well this film does at the box office. But I think it'll do well financially. Let some other people tackle Avatar. Let them put if you have an idea of where you want the story to go, work on that. Pass the torch to another visionary filmmaker who could put that together while you work on your next Terminator project. Unless that'll be the thing you tackle afterwards, because if you have the next Avatar movie coming out in, what do you say, 2029 or something or another, if you have something coming out in the next couple of years, then you could pretty much squeeze in between a new Terminator movie. So with all that being said, I definitely want to hear from y'all. Let me know what your thoughts are on this story in the comments down below.